Hello, Eric. How are you today? Welcome back.
Hey, Rachel. I'm okay. How are you today?
I'm doing great, thank you. So, it's been about 2 weeks since we've been here. How have things gone since then?
Same old, I guess. Still working quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I got about 65 hours in.
Okay, that's a lot of hours.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty busy. Getting to see Jesse here and there.
Okay.
But yeah, same old, nothing really.
All right. Is there anything that you've been concerned about in the last 2 weeks that you'd like to talk about today in our session?
Yeah, last Wednesday, Jesse had a dance recital.
Okay.
And about 10 minutes until she was supposed to be on stage, she told me that she forgot her tutu.
Okay.
And so I had to run back home real quick and grab that.
Okay.
And then I was very angry.
Sure.
I definitely acted in a way that I shouldn't have.
Okay. So let's definitely put that on our agenda for today. That'd be something I definitely want to address, and kind of what that looked like. Is there anything else you want to put on our agenda for today? Maybe talk about work and things that are going on.
It's all the same old, just working. It's a good problem to have, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's also, just added to the stress.
Okay. So work, your daughter. Is there anybody else that you're having issues with or that has presented itself in the last 2 weeks?
Yeah. Her mom still being herself, I guess.
Okay.
So.
Is there anything in particular or just overall?
It's overall, I guess. Yeah. Same.
Okay. We'll definitely address that today in our agenda. So I want to talk about, you're definitely working long hours at work, and I think that plays into, time with your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to hear how that's affecting your all's relationship, if it is. And that incident with your daughter I want to talk about, and then if we get to it at the end, talk about your ex-wife and the things that are going on with that are kind of triggering some things for you. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So the last time we were here, we talked about the anger towards your daughter.
Okay.
And the way that that was presenting itself. Would you say that is still a problem? It's continuing? Has anything changed with that?
Yeah, and I don't want to word it that way.
Okay.
I don't want to say it's anger towards my daughter. I think that just sounds harsh, I guess. It's definitely, she's just taking the butt of all my anger.
Okay.
All my anger is just kind of being focused on kind of just been put on her.
Okay.
Because of everything else. I'm not mad at her. She's just taking the blame, I guess.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that you're not upset or mad at your daughter. She's just receiving the repercussions of anger that's within you. Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. Well, that's good. Good to know too. Okay. So that seems like it's still the continued problem, and we can address that as well. Is there anything that's different besides that one incident between the last time we met and now, or has things pretty much been the same?
Yes, things have been the same.
Okay.
Of course, I get frustrated a lot here and there, but that was a big one. That was all kind of only really big one, I guess.
Okay. So you had some homework from the last time we met.
Yeah.
That was to write down any emotional or physical symptoms that presented itself when you got angry or frustrated. And I just kind of want to hear about how that went, if you did it, and if you didn't, like what kind of.
I'm sorry, I didn't really write anything down.
Okay.
I guess, but it definitely helped me reflect on it afterwards.
Okay.
Like when I would get frustrated or something, I would definitely reflect on that afterwards and just kind of see, where I acted out of just anger and where I shouldn't have said things or did things, kind of.
Okay.
It definitely helped out.
Okay.
But I didn't write anything down. So.
I think that's great. I mean, the point of the homework was to become more self-aware, and I think that you've definitely found that in yourself a little bit more. Did you notice any behaviors or physical thoughts or feelings or just symptoms at all when you did become angry or frustrated?
I mean, it's usually just kind of a quick trigger, I guess. It just kind of sets everything off where I hate to say it, but it's almost like blacking out. It's just like I'm not myself anymore. Kind of, I'm just anger. But other than that, I mean, not really. I mean, just that. I'm not myself, I guess, after I'm triggered.
Okay.
It's not good.
Okay. So let's talk about how all of this kind of started and how it's progressed. How do you feel like the anger and the frustration has began? Where did it start?
Really, as far back as I can remember,
Okay.
I was definitely an angry kid. I had anger problems and stuff like that. But definitely with the divorce, everything's just kind of been, boosted, I guess, since then. So.
And it's been about how many years since the divorce?
It's been about 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So would you say that things have gotten better since it started with the anger and working towards that, or have things gotten a little bit worse on how anger presents itself for you?
Since the divorce, worse for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely worse since the divorce.
So you feel like things are just kind of escalating and escalating, and it's kind of at its peak right now?
Definitely.
Okay. Is there any like specific examples? I know you said that your daughter was somebody that receives the repercussions of your anger. Is there any examples that you can give that you're aware of on when you get very angry? What are those triggers for you?
Yeah.
Do you know?
I mean, definitely her mom.
Okay.
Definitely. It just seems like she doesn't really try a whole lot in different fields. I feel like I'm always the one taking Jessie places. I'm always the one picking her up, even if it's dropping her off or picking her up from her house.
Right.
I still feel like I'm always the one taking time out of my schedule to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, of course, she's just herself. Sadly, just to put it that way. Yeah, she's definitely a big trigger.
Okay. So you're feeling you're responsible a lot for your daughter's extracurriculars or school and things like that, when you feel like it should be a shared responsibility?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I'm definitely. I love it. I want to hang out with her, but I also feel like I'm not getting any help at all.
I can understand that. Okay. So let's talk about some coping skills. And I want to talk about maybe what's worked for you in the past and what hasn't worked for you. And you can be really honest about if you even have coping skills. Is there anything that you know has worked for you in the past about working with anger, frustration, whatever it may be, even stress? Is there something that's worked for you before?
Yeah. Excuse me. I think definitely looking back at high school, starting then, that was where like sports or like working out or something like that. I played football. Where that was kind of my getaway. Does it make sense? That sounds kind of like weird, but working out has always definitely been my getaway. And then I'm a part of a gym around here, but I don't really go nearly as much as I should, I guess. But yeah, that's definitely a big getaway for me. A big kind of way to relieve it or to deal with it. That works out pretty well when I'm consistent.
Sure. So what are the reasons that you're not going as consistently now or as often as you would like?
Really work and Jessie, of course. And I mean, I don't want to complain about that. I have to do that. There's things I gotta do. But I definitely wish I had more time because when I notice a huge difference in my behavior when I'm consistent with it. So.
Okay. Is that an option for you to do now, or is that not an option for you to make a consistent part of your schedule?
It's always an option. The gym I'm a part of is a 24-hour gym, so I can always go like earlier or later. Okay. But like I said, I'm working long hours, and again having to help out and do things for Jessie.
Sure. Well, I think that's a great coping skill, and I think that it's important that you recognize that in yourself. And if that's something that can work for you, I think that would be great, and I can see that you want to do that.
Definitely.
If it's not something that's going to be working with your schedule, that's okay too. We can talk about some other coping skills. Is there anything that you feel like would be an alternative to that, to work towards kind of reducing that anger when it comes up, or a daily thing? Like, is there anything that you can think of that might work for you?
I know I have a buddy that does like at-home workouts, like 15-minute-a-day stuff. I've always thought about doing that, but I've just never really kind of, put forth the effort to do that. I guess I could start doing kind of things like that, but not really. I mean, I can't really think of anything else I want to do or can do.
I think that would be great. I think that's something you can work into your schedule, and I think that that's something that has worked for you in the past. We can see if it works this time. And that might be something short term we can look at, and then long term, if it's working for you, we can look at that too. Do you think that would be okay?
Yeah, definitely. I would love to figure that out.
Great. let's talk about an assignment for the next time that we meet. So I know the last time we had our homework assignment be kind of like writing down some emotional and physical symptoms of when anger presented itself. And I know that didn't quite work out, but that's okay. This time I'm going to spin it a little bit differently.
Okay.
I know we just talked about working out, and I think that's such a wonderful physical outlet for anger. I'd really like to see you try maybe a thoughts journal. And this isn't something that you have to do throughout the day. This can be something at the end of the day, even if you write down bullet points about your thoughts. Like what made you, what triggered an angry emotion in you that day, if you felt angry that day. What triggered happiness in you? What was something that you really enjoyed? And the point of this is to have a really healthy outlet for your emotional side. I mean, obviously working out is a good outlet for your physical symptoms, your emotional symptoms. You need somewhere to let that out, and I want to see how that works for you. Do you think that would be okay?
It's definitely different. I've never done anything like that before, but I mean, at this point, I guess I'm willing to try anything because I know it's going to be best for Jesse and best for me, I guess. I don't want to be like this. So, but yeah, I'll definitely give it a shot and see what happens.
Okay. I think that's great that you're willing to try that. So we can address it next time and see how it works. If that's really not working for you, we'll talk about doing something else, but I think it's great to try that. So how do you feel like everything's gone today? How do you feel like things have been going throughout the past couple sessions? I know we've only seen each other a couple times, but overall, how do you feel like these are working for you?
Pretty good, I guess. I think you can definitely back this up, is, especially the first time, and then I guess last time as well. I was definitely a little more timid and not really open, I guess. So I definitely feel more comfortable around you. I don't know. I really appreciate what you do. I know you have a stressful job, so. But yeah, I think everything's going pretty well, I think. So.
Okay. So you feel like things are getting better, and this is helping with the issue?
Yeah. I think it's helping me deal with it better.
Good.
And I think that eventually I'll be better at it for sure.
Sure. Is there anything you'd like to talk about next time, or that you would like to address further in sessions? Any improvements that you feel like need made?
I mean, I guess the same old. Nothing really. Hopefully I can come back and tell you everything's good and not have a freak out or anything. But no, I think this is kind of the same thing.
Okay. Well, I think things have been going really well, Eric. I think that you have been very open to trying new things, and I think that's great. I do see improvement in you, and just becoming self-aware of all of the things that we've talked about is so important, and I know that you want what's best for Jesse, and I definitely think that just continuing these sessions the way that we've been doing them, and just seeing what works for you with coping and things like that, I think that in no time we'll find what works for you. Okay? Does that sound good?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, I'll see you in about 2 weeks then, and if you need anything between now and then, just give me a call.
Sounds good.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.